right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you, everyone, for being here tonight. This will be Holy Ground's first chat and chill. So, thank you for being here with us, especially if you're live. If you're watching the recording later, that's okay. We know that you're here with us anyway. So, our Holy Ground Spiritual Center is turning two. We're officially toddlers. So we will have a fantastic anniversary event going on next weekend. So make sure you are subscribed to our social media channels. You check out our website. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be some singing, some preaching, a little bit of everything. So just make sure that you are there and you're subscribed so you stay up to date with our happenings. All right. So we tonight for our first chat and chill, we're going to be interviewing the awesome and amazing Reverend Melissa McQueen-Simmons. But before we get started, we have a couple of ground rules. Okay, so if you are watching live, you have the privilege of sending her questions. You can post them, we'll see them. She can jump in and answer them. My only request is that you keep it classy. I do have a mute button on chat, so please don't make me use it. All right. So let's see. We're going to get started. First, I'm going to tell you that we are having our first chat and chill with our amazing spiritual director, Reverend Melissa McQueen-Simmons. She is the awesome wife, amazing mother, phenomenal friend, dope sister, and she is also the spiritual director of Holy Ground Spiritual Center. Welcome, sis.
Hey, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Do you see that someone already have a question?
Now, wait a minute. Now, y'all let me get started. Come on now. Can I get my introduction in first? Okay, we'll get to your question in just a second, but you can go ahead and type it, so we'll get to it. All right, so we have two types of questions tonight, Melissa. Hopefully,
Okay.
I'm not calling you
Okay, I
Melissa.
think I'm ready. I hope I'm ready.
You're ready. So we asked for some questions from our Holy Ground spiritual teams. They gave us some awesome questions. We also got some questions from some of your family and friends. We know as family.
Okay.
Okay, so those are
Okay.
going to be regular interview questions, but there are two types of questions. The other questions are speed questions. That's my original idea. So we're going to do some speed questions. Don't worry, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. So let's give one a try, okay? So that we know before we get started how this is going to go, okay? You ready?
Okay, which question are we giving a try? A
This
speed
is
question?
the speed question. So you
Okay.
know how regular interview questions work, okay? We got to do my original thing.
Okay. Okay.
All right. So I'm going to say a word. I'm going to give you two, and you tell me which one works for you, okay? Ready?
Mm-hmm.
High heels or flats?
Mm. Flats.
Polka dots or stripes?
Stripes.
All right. When you're super tired, your best sleep is on the couch or the bed.
The
All
couch.
right, you got it. You got it. All right, so
Okay.
that's how the speed questions are gonna work. I'll throw them in at any moment whenever the spirit moves me. So they will
Okay.
come in between questions, okay?
I'm glad to know we're moving with the spirit.
Yes, we are. Always praise the Lord. Yes, we do. Okay, so we're gonna get started. The first part of the interview is gonna be what we consider our chat. Okay, so we're gonna get to know Reverend Melissa McQueen-Simmons.
Okay.
The second part of our chat will be more about chill. All right.
Okay.
All right. So, first question first. What keeps you grounded?
Oh, what keeps me grounded? Hmm. My values. My family values. As a child, my parents taught me integrity. So integrity keeps me grounded. I always want to be one that say what I'm going to do and do what I'm going to say. So that keeps me grounded. And my faith, knowing that the divine lives within me and I have been given something special that reminds me why I live from day to day and what I'm supposed to be doing. So those keep me grounded.
Okay. All right. I can definitely say, as your friend, I see all of those things in you. So, yeah. I co-sign that.
I appreciate it. I appreciate that.
Okay. So let's talk about Holy Ground Spiritual Center. We would like to know the story behind how you came up with the idea, what came to you, and also why the W before Holy.
Ooh, good question. So, as you all know, I went to Howard to get a theological education. And after school, many of us choose different paths. I chose to be ordained in the United Church of Christ, and I just found that even in that denomination that is as inclusive as it is, I was always yearning for something else, something different, something more, if you will. And I noticed that other people who had a theological education or other people who were spiritual as myself were also just yearning for just a different type of faith community. And man, I was given this vision of at least 5 years ago, but just didn't understand it. And I was like, this is so weird. This is so new. I've never seen this before. And it finally came together about maybe 2 years ago, well, 3 years ago, when I started putting the pieces together. And Spirit just kept saying sacred, sacred space, sacred space. So for a long time, I just thought it was sacred space. And then um, Holy showed up. And then to when I think about the ministry that I do, helping people live in their authentic selves, it's all about mind, body, and spirit. So it was just like, it just made sense. It was like a holistic faith, a holy ground, a sacred space, wherever we are, um, intertwined in the divine, doing good works and works that are loving and reflect justice, that is holy. So yes, the W came for the holistic and holy.
Okay, all right. I'm liking that. I always like to know the story behind a specific word, especially when it's spelled a little different. Okay, so here's the question. I know the answer, but I'm sure everyone else wants to know the answer. So, why did you decide to do a virtual church? Why not four walls, a pew, and pulpit and some pews? Why not that?
Yeah, so another very good question, and it's simple to me. I believe virtually you're able to reach more people. You're able to create spaces that are open like this, that's open to the public, where everyone can see what you're sharing and what you're saying. And you're able to create a more private space, like the Zoom rooms and the other things that you could choose to have something more sacred, which is like what we use for our book discussions. Because sometimes it's so many reasons. Sometimes people are just so busy, um, and just the thought of physically having to get to a space can be exhausting. Another thing is there are some people who just aren't able bodied to drive or to get to a space. So this makes it inclusive for them. Yes, there are other ways we could work on being inclusive, and with our community that is deaf and other other ways, but a virtual space creates more opportunity. It creates more global reach, if you will. So people could join in wherever they are. So and it's all about community for me. Um, Everything I do is about community. And as my writing coach, um, I'm serious about relationships and healthy relationships. So that's why it's virtual and not a brick and mortar.
Cool.
Maybe in the future there's an opportunity, but right now, in this time and season, I see Holy Ground as a virtual space.
I think that it's wonderful. It's a virtual space, like you say. We are able to reach people that would not be local, would not be able to travel. And our holy ground is at thebomb.com. So I
Yes,
love
they
that we
are.
were able to get to them. Yeah, definitely. Okay, before we go to the next question. The chat room is on and popping.
It's on fire. It is
We're
on
on fire.
fire.
Okay, so let's take one of their questions first. Okay.
Okay.
So
Oh, I
this
see.
one, what's your best self-care method, especially with all the roles
Oh,
that you play?
oh, thank you. That's my brother Marion. Also went to Howard, HU. Oh, the first and the best self-care method is to be honest with yourself. Oh my goodness. Our body tells us everything we need. So I guess for us, if you don't have a moment of silence or stillness each day, beginning with that. And that will allow you to listen and feel and see what's happening within your body and what comes up in your mind. So that is the first thing I would say. And being okay and comfortable saying no. No is probably the best self-care I
Yeah.
could ever share with anyone. No releases you from stress. It releases you from just the additional pressure of having to show up in a way that you know you don't feel like it or you just don't want to. So I'll share those two. Being honest with yourself, listening to your body, and being okay saying no.
All right, definitely some good food for thought for us. Now, relating to that, we have another question. So, what tools do you use for centering?
Oh, silence. A lot of silence. Um, and also music. If you know me, you know I am into music. Like my brain is usually going even when I lay down. So I actually sleep to Liquid Mind. Um, he's an artist, and I can't really describe it, but it's like uh, a synthesizer or it's interesting the way it sounds. So that's Liquid Mind, and sometimes if I realize that I am totally not grounded, I will just take my socks off and walk outside and just feel the earth beneath my feet to remind me that I'm okay and I'm where I need to be.
All right. Okay. So, thank you, everyone that's popping up with these questions. You're awesome. We appreciate you. I'm going to jump back to one of the submitted questions. So, who is your spiritual role model?
Who we so I can't just pick one. Um, so I'm gonna start with when it comes to the Bible, my spiritual father, Dr. Ron Hobson, he has taught me when I read the Bible to try to take it apart piece by piece. So my spiritual father, Ron Hobson. And you know how we always have a person.
Hmm.
So the person that is the person that I knew that I could exist in ministry is Bishop Yvette Flunder.
I knew
She
that.
was raised Pentecostal, actually the same Church of God in Christ as myself. And she's now United Church of Christ as myself. So she showed me that I could exist, especially as a sane, gender loving woman. Um, and then there is my day to day role model, which is Reverend Cedric Harmon. He he reminds me that ministry is always changing. It's always evolving. Um, Even today, we talked and he shared about a podcast, and I can't really share everything about it, but I'm looking forward to him sharing that and how ministry and justice work is starting to show up in just different places and apps and things. Um, he also is someone who looks over my sermons. So I'm sharing some things with you all. He look over my sermons and he know if I have not dug as deep as I would usually have dug. He knows if I haven't shown my full self in my writing. So I appreciate him for that. And if I thought I knew self-care. Like I'm pretty clear. Like I just knew I knew self-care until I met him. He teaches me self-care in ways that I didn't imagine. Um and I won't share his tactics, but let's just say he's a little bit more quiet than I am. And that would include that phone. So let's just say, some people may not get that call answered because he really is he create boundaries around things that I'm still learning to create boundaries around. So Reverend Cedric Harmon is my day-to-day role model.
Awesome. So you have a couple of role models. That's awesome. I think we should all have more than one. Definitely. Okay, so we have another submitted question. What's your takeaway from Divinity School?
Ooh. I'm trying to finish this Ricola. It's the perfect time
It's
for
okay.
that question.
Keep it real.
Okay, you all know me. I keep it 100. Divinity School was the most impactful experience of my life. I'll just straight up say that. As a same gender loving woman, it was challenging. But what do I take away from being a same gender loving woman that was out in a school that on paper appeared to be progressive, but in person felt a little shaky? Um, I learned what vulnerability looked like. I learned what ministry entailed. And if I was going to do ministry right, it meant I had to be me. It meant I had to, as my father and my mother had taught me, I needed to be honest about who I am. I needed to practice what I preach. So it meant that I walked with the rainbow, spread my rainbow flag, being me, um, and being uncomfortable around folk who weren't um, equipped yet, or people who had inclusive language around people who were same gender loving or part of our LGBT community. So it meant being vulnerable. It meant digging deep into the Bible and learning that there are some things that I had to unlearn um, in order to do this ministry thing right. So it meant I had to have an open mind. And for those of you all who know what it means to be Pentecostal, that's just not a thing. It's just, hey, this is how it is. This is how it is. This is what the Bible say. This is it. So that's what that meant. And yeah. I'm pretty sure there's a Bible question, so I'm gonna just keep it right there. I'm gonna keep it
Put
right there.
fork in that one. Okay. Okay, so you mentioned growing up Pentecostal. So how do you go from being growing up Pentecostal to now have being holistic in your faith? How does that happen?
Okay, that's another good question. Y'all bringing them. Okay, so disclaimer: I am still Pentecostal.
Okay.
I am still Pentecostal. I'll just share that I went from religion to having faith. When I was Pentecostal, the religion I knew told me that the God um, that God hated me, or God hated people who were gay or homosexuals. Let me get on my hand. Homosexuals. So that's what the religion told me. The religion that I was taught didn't affirm women in ways that I know needed to be affirmed. And I'll just give an example. Like when women got pregnant, they had to come to the front and show, ask God and the church for forgiveness because they were pregnant. And then you were like looking like, it didn't take a genius to know that they didn't get pregnant by them. But the man never had to come up. So things like that. And the women were like, shoot, I'm just going to throw a number out. Well, at least 80% of the church doing most of the work, but they were never like the head of the church. They were never like the pastor. And when they preached, I'm going to say they preached, they said that they were going to bring a message. We're going to have a missionary or minister so and so bring a message. So they never really preached, and they didn't get to stand from the pulpit. So that religion didn't affirm women. And it was so many things you could go to hell for, from red lipstick to, touching the pulpit. Like you could possibly die from walking on the pulpit because you ain't supposed to be there, or taking communion without asking for forgiveness, because if you took communion not worthy, you would die. So, it was so many things that I learned. But after getting a theological understanding, I learned that faith was different from religion. Um, my faith now, I realize that the God of my understanding now loves me and knew who I was going to be when I was born, and even have enough grace for me. All of these people in the world, there is enough grace for me from the God of my understanding. And I believe the God of my understanding, with this faith, if I just live out my purpose in life, all will be well.
This is true.
So I went from religion to faith.
All right. I can dig that. All right, we're getting a little heavy, so we need
Uh-oh.
to throw some sweet questions in here. All right, you ready? Okay. What's your favorite dessert?
Ooh, favorite dessert. Ah, peach cobbler and ice cream.
I knew that was coming. Already knew. All right, what's your favorite veggies or fruit?
Fruit.
Okay.
Oh, what's my favorite fruit?
Mhm.
Oh, watermelon.
Okay. Yes. Or do you put salt on it?
No,
Oh my goodness. How do you eat watermelon without salt?
plain.
That is not right. That's got to be somewhere in the Bible. That is not right. Don't do that. Hmm. Okay. So, what's your favorite dish to cook?
Ooh, lasagna.
Okay. Now, I haven't had your lasagna. You've been holding out. Okay.
You see, when you come, everything is already in place and organized. So maybe next time I can make a lasagna.
Okay. Y'all heard that, right? We got that on camera.
Oh goodness, we have people saying good night. Okay.
No, don't say goodnight. We're still going. Make sure you go back and watch the recording though to enjoy the
Yeah, and I'll try to answer your question. If you have to leave.
ride. All right. So you said that you like to walk on the earth, and I know that you have a garden. So tell us a little bit about what you have growing in your garden. Uh-oh. Alyssa, are you in the garden right now?
Okay. Good. Yeah, I'm looking at let's see, let me check okay. It was saying I was having some connecting issues, so I had to check that out. Yes, in the garden, I have some peppers growing right now. Those peppers that you pick up, the mini sweet peppers that's like red and orange and yellow?
Yes.
I have those growing right now. They're
Okay.
slowly turning, so I cannot wait. So yeah, this year I just did peppers. I tried to grow up some pumpkins. It didn't work. The squash bug ate them,
Mm,
and I didn't have the energy to figure it out, because you would have to. I know you all probably like, this is too much, but you would have to make some soapy water. You would have to brush all the leaves in order to make sure you wash the larva off. So when the squash bug came back, it wasn't able to protect the larva, so they were hatched. Because once they would hatch on top of the pumpkin, you couldn't get rid of them. So I didn't have the capacity or the energy to wash all these leaves with this soapy water to keep them from growing. So my pumpkin plant didn't make it. So we're gonna have to go to a pumpkin patch.
mm-mm. You lost me at make the soapy water. You lost me right there. You lost me. That was too much work for pumpkins. Nah. I'll wait for the sweet potatoes. No. Okay, we have another audience question. How
Okay.
balance sexuality and faith?
How do you balance sexuality and faith? Okay. So that is a very interesting question. And I'm going to see if I can take it from some different angles. Um, First, I'll say embrace your sexuality. Embrace your sexuality. Sexuality is a gift, it's a gift from God. And as in, I teach a curriculum called Our Whole Lives, and it's a curriculum for kindergarten all through seasoned adults or older adults. And basically, what you learn when it comes to sexuality is the various components of sexuality, from intimacy to sexual health and reproduction to sexual orientation, gender identity, um, the various circles of sexuality. And you learn consent. So, how do you balance that? If you have a healthy sex life, I'll define what a healthy sex life is. If you are old enough and the person is old enough or able enough to consent when it comes to um, your sexuality, and sexuality is not just the act, okay? A lot of people confuse having sex with sexuality. Sexuality is sexuality includes intimacy. You know how a lot of people say that their partner cheated on them and their partner didn't even have sex with that person, but they were able to create an emotional attachment, which was something that I guess was lacking or missing. Um, that right there can be a form of sexuality. So, how do you balance sexuality and faith? You have faith on this end and you do whatever. So Mary, you're a minister. So I'm gonna take it from this angle. As a minister, um, you do what you know you are called to do in faith. And you embody your sexuality as long as it's healthy, as long as it doesn't affect the way you're supposed to be doing your life's call, you're fine. But you have to also create boundaries within that. Creating boundaries within is self-care and sexuality. All of this goes together. And I'm trying not to get too deep in this thing. But but so to create a balance is you just make sure that you're healthy, you're whole, you're being legal, you're practicing consent, and you're being honest with who you are when it comes to living out ministry.
All right. Preach. Preach, Rev.
I'm trying to preach for the people. I might turn on my fan. Let me turn my fan on.
Okay, turn your fan on. Don't get too hot. Don't do what you need to do.
I'm back. I'm back.
All right, we got one or two more questions for Reverend Melissa McQueen-Simmons.
For the Rev, for the Rev.
No, you ain't the Rev yet. You're Reverend.
Oh, Reverend. Okay.
Okay. All right. So we asked a few people their hashtags for you. Hashtag. We got a interesting one. We got beautiful,
Can I
inspired.
say that again?
We have beautiful.
Okay.
Beautiful. Okay. Inspiring, natural leader, focused, and dope. You already know who said dope. Okay.
Oh, thank
So, how would you hashtag yourself? Give us two.
you. Ooh, that's a good. Oh, I wasn't ready for that one. I usually just keep it simple, and I usually put hashtag Rev Mail. Shoot. Um, Beautiful, dope. Oh man, I want to do something. I like beautiful, the beautiful Rev.
Okay.
I try to help people live a beautiful life.
Yeah.
And it's an interesting story to that. I actually had a reading that told me that my purpose and the ancestors was telling her that I was placed on earth to live a beautiful life. So I think beautiful need to be in that hashtag somewhere. Maybe
Definitely.
the beautiful Rev Mail.
Okay, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Okay, I'm gonna use it tomorrow when I think about this interview. Yes, ma'am. All right. So we're gonna start. Okay. All right. So we
Oh,
talked to Reverend Melissa McQueen-Simmons. Now we're gonna talk to Rev Mel. Even though they're the same, we want to get in.
okay.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
So grab your church juice. Grab your church juice. Grab your church juice.
You have something? Okay.
Of course, I have something. All right. Got your church
I
juice.
got
All
some
right. Let's.
church juice.
All right. All right. Let's start with speed question. Okay. All right. Buttermilk biscuits or pancakes?
Pancakes.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Crock pot, frying pan.
Crock pot.
Spaghetti, pot roast.
Spaghetti.
What? I was sure you were gonna say pot roast. I know you make a mean pot roast, so I want to know what
I
you do.
do.
What's your
Thank you.
what's your secret?
Ooh, I think it's cream of mushroom.
Ooh,
And it's another one that's cream. It's like a garlic cream of garlic mushroom or cream of garlic something.
okay.
Those two like turn it to the next level. And I don't usually use salt in it,
What?
not a lot of salt,
Okay.
because I'll add soy sauce.
That's where you get the sodium. Okay.
So yeah, I don't yeah, I leave the salt out so I can add soy sauce.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about your music ear. We all know that you are a big music lover,
Okay.
music queen. Okay, so what are your three main music genres?
Oh, my main music genres. And I won't even put them in a order. Jazz, gospel. Shoot. That's so I'm going with house
Okay,
music.
okay, I can rock that. So, what is your? Ooh, that's my jam song.
Oh, I have so many.
You might know one. Give us some.
Oh shoot. That's my jam song. You love me. It's
Hey,
special and different every time you keep me
okay,
happily.
okay.
That's probably it. That yeah. And the next lifetime, the live version.
Yes, Erica brought that. Yes,
Yeah, so
yes.
those and let's see, I'm gonna think of a gospel song. Order My Steps.
Mm.
Um and Better Days now, Better Days and house music. Follow Me. Follow Me.
I'm sure I've heard that at your house at some point.
If I could own the rights to Follow Me, that would be Holy Ground's theme music.
One day,
That
one day.
that's the good news for me.
Okay. All right. What about jazz? What's your favorite on jazz?
Oh, jazz. I love the standards. I do love the standards. But I'm really following this artist, Cecile McLaurin of Savant right now. Oh my gosh. Nothing she sings is wrong. Um, yeah. She sing a standard called "You're My Thrill" that just took me all the way in last year during the pandemic. I was telling everybody about her.
Mhm,
People
mhm.
who didn't like jazz, I'm like, hey, y'all need to listen to this person.
Yes, I
You know,
remember. I remember.
so her and I've always loved Rochelle Farrell. Um, yeah, Kim Von. So Kim is Von's favorite, but I'm actually starting to fall for his style. I'm starting to dig his style. He's evolving into something a little bit different, and I'm kind of liking that in the jazz, and always just sophisticated ladies and the Duke Ellington. Look at you. You like okay? Enough of the question.
No,
you
no,
you
no, no.
asked this
It's
question about
perfect.
music. Got me.
No,
Oh,
I knew
okay.
you would go with that one. I already knew. Okay, you know, answer the
Okay.
next question, which was, do you know the words for real? Because we like to act like we know the words till we listening to something and we just kind of hum it out. But you sung it. Your
The
first one,
word.
so you know the words.
Oh yeah.
You know the words. You know the words.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes. And follow me. I know the words too.
Okay. So October is your birthday month.
Yes, October 26th. So if
Yeah.
y'all want to slide something in my Cash App, that's what people are doing now. Hey,
Yes.
posting the
Yes.
Cash App. My Cash App is RevMail. If you want to slide something in there, I will be grateful. I'll be 42.
Okay, well that I was not gonna say it, but okay, so I know you're in your 40s now. Tell me, what has 40 brought you? What do you feel like is your good thing you got out of 40? And while you do that, I'm gonna take a little sip too.
40. 40 reminded me not to get too comfortable.
Okay. How
I
so?
I learned a lot as just with my vocation, with my job, uh, with a 3-year-old,
Hmm.
well, a toddler, because yeah, with a toddler, I learned to not get too comfortable and be prepared for whatever the wind may blow.
Yeah, you got to stay ready once you get in your 40s. Got to stay on ready.
Yes.
All right. So the next question that I have for you, let's talk about physical and personality. Okay. So your mother and your father, tell us one physical trait, one appearance, anything, and one personality trait that you got from both of them.
Ooh. So, hmm.
And you know your mama watching, so
My mom, hey mom, I know you watching on YouTube. So from my mom, oh my goodness, my mom, she's a mom's mom. She is the mother. She's nurturing. Um, but you said physical trait.
physical
Uh,
or personality. You're giving one of both.
okay, cool. So my mom is so nurturing, and I know I got that from her, and that I'm able to share that when it comes to people that I care for, and having a child, I was able to be nurturing. So I'm grateful for that. As a kid, boy, my mom was so affectionate, and she's still affectionate now. If I lay on her lap, or she'll still hug me like I'm still her baby.
Mhm.
So yes, I got being nurturing from my mom. My dad. If you see my dad, I got my dad's face. Okay,
Exactly.
y'all. I have my dad's face. Um, and but I also got strength. My dad, he's assertive. He's a boss. Um, and I know I got those skills from him.
All right, awesome. Okay, so you also mentioned that you're the mommy to a 3-year-old who I'm very proud to call my niece. So while we're talking about these personality traits, what is it? Have you seen her pick up anything so far that's definitely you?
Ooh, we. Um. Well, yeah. If she don't want to be bothered, she let you know she don't want to be bothered. Like she will just leave. And now she says, "I'm going to rest," or "I'm resting." So I'm like, "Oh, wow, that's something that I would do." I would tell the people, "I'm going to go take a break."
Hmm.
So that um she's very observant. And that's something like I am an extrovert, but I spend a lot of time surveying a space before I decide to share. And I can tell that Cam is an observer because a week later she'll start talking about something that happened, way back when, and we're like, "Oh, wow, we didn't know you knew that." So she get that from me.
Yeah, she get it from my mama. Okay.
She get it from a mommy.
All right, time for another speed question. All right, ready? Hot wings, crab legs.
Oh, we hot wings.
You can only pick one. Over the dungeon. Oh my gosh, I can't
And
believe.
the only reason I said hot wings because you didn't specify which crab legs.
Okay, yes, we know you are very picky about your crab. What is your crab leg? What's the one you
Dungeness.
have to have?
I like Dungeness.
Okay, next one. Beach or backyard?
Backyard.
Okay, why the backyard?
Because honestly, I don't like sand.
Oh,
I
okay.
really don't like sand. Um and it comes from being in Iraq. Um I had enough of sand for me to have PTSD in some way about sand if it's too much at one time. So I
Oh,
just keep it real like that, but you know, when I'm at the beach, I'm fine. I'm not going to just volunteer and just say I want to live at the beach forever. But the beach is a beautiful place because I love the water. But yeah, the backyard is a place of serenity because I'm able to be in tune with the animals and the sounds that is local and relevant to my space that I'm ministering to, my space that I'm worshiping in. This is holy ground too for me.
mhm.
So the backyard just reminds me how things are always changing. The sounds in the spring is different from the sounds in the fall. The birds that I see in the winter is different from the birds I see in the summer. So I like that the change of the backyard.
Okay, okay, I can get with that. All right, so late nights or early morning?
Oh, late nights, late nights.
Okay, I already know the answer to that because your Facebook light stays on. What are you
Yes.
doing up in the middle of the night?
A
Is it
lot of things. Like
are you,
a lot of
what
things.
are you doing? What gets the most focus late at night?
So usually at night, I'm like, I check my calendar to make sure I've done everything. I try to mentally prepare for the next day. I'm checking emails. I'm doing everything that the therapists tell me not to do. I'm
Basically,
just
yeah.
gonna keep it real, you all. I have a therapist and we've been working on sleep hygiene and it's just keep me lifted. So I'm doing everything she tells me not to do. Um, but yeah. I don't know. I have a lot of energy at night sometimes. So sometimes I just want to get it off. And I'll just tell y'all this, being a virtual pastor ain't no joke. Um, I'm the virtual pastor. I've learned how to do graphics. I've learned how to do some video editing, y'all. Shoot, what else have I learned? I've learned how to run a studio. We're in
Yeah.
the studio. We're in our holy ground studio right now.
Mhm. It's virtual, so it's a little bit of everybody on the team.
Yes. So yeah, I'm thinking about all those things, and I'm thinking about and creating space, and I'm praying that people come and join Holy Ground so they can take some of these tasks off my plate, so I can come up with some new things. So yeah, I'm thinking about all those things in the wee hours in the morning. So that's
Okay.
why I'm up.
All right. All right. I'll say those are stay up worthy things. So okay.
I
I'll meet you
appreciate it.
on that. All right. So we're about to do our last question for the night. All right. So Cards Against Humanity, Sequence, Phase 10. Which one do you want me to beat you at the next time I see you?
Are you serious?
I'm so serious.
Cards Against Humanity. You know I have some new extensions for Cards Against Humanity. So
Every time I talk to you, you have a new extension. Okay.
yeah,
Ready for that one too?
we'll see if you can beat me in sequence.
Okay. Okay. We'll see. We'll see. Sounds like a challenge to me. All right, so let's wrap it up. Reverend Melissa McQueen-Simmons and Rev Mel, we have really, really enjoyed getting to know you up close and personal tonight. I'm sure
Thank
our
you.
grounders know a little bit more about you than they did and see that you are a well-rounded person.
I hope so. We didn't miss any questions, did we?
I know. I think we got all of them.
Okay,
I
cool
think we got
beans.
everything. I don't think we missed anything. If we did miss your question, please feel free to email it to us at info@holyground.org, and we will definitely respond to it. This live is being recorded, so if we answer the question, you might have ran to the bathroom or something, go back and check it out. But thank you all for joining in with us for our first Holy Ground Chat and Chill. And we hope to see you next weekend for our 2-year anniversary. So check out the site, holyground.org with the W. And then make sure you subscribe to all of our let's try this again. Social media sites.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks,
Great
everyone.
job, Brooke. And follow Brook Blander as well. Brooke is an author. Brooke is a teacher. Brooke is a coach. Hit her up. Hit her up.
All right. Love you guys.
Love you too.
Good night, Grounders.